So, folks, go to that trust fund pussy babies Dan Bilzerian's Instagram or Twitter X site. 90% of it, he talks about us Jews. He's got a hard on for fucking Jews. For a dude who's not Jewish. For a queer who's not, I don't know what he is. He's Armenian Christian. If you're not Muslim or Jewish, why would you give a fuck about the Middle East? And if you did, you would not only care about the Middle East and Gaza, Israel, you'd care about Syria, where there was a 12-year civil war and 600,000 died. You'd worried about Yemen, where another 300,000-400,000 died. You worried about the Sudan. You know, he makes up all these lies about how us Christians killed how us Jews have killed Christians over the years. Dan, you've got it the other way around. It's the Muslims killing Christians and the Crusades. You know, you were the people doing it. And then he's so stupid, he mentions how Dan Bilzerian is a Jew hater. I don't know if he used the word anti-Semite. He's a steroided Jew hater. He's pissed off because he's soy as fuck. And he doesn't have the fucking balls to say this shit to my face because he knows what would happen. He knows what would happen. Dan Bilzerian is a pussy. He's a dropout of the Navy SEALs. He acts like a big shot. Everything he says about Jews, he is. He claims Jews lie. He lies. He claims Jews steal. He steals. He claims Jews are degenerates. He's a degenerate. Wait, Jews are degenerate? Look at his lifestyle. I don't know any Jews that lived like him or Hugh Hefner or anything. Most Jews are not ultra playboys. This is a dude calling Jews degenerate because we introduced porno, he says. We never introduced porno to the world. So a couple of people on Pornhub that are Jewish or something? Come on, dude. Because Ron Jeremy was Jewish and he was a porn star. Every Jew's... He makes it sound like all his Jews are behind all that shit. Wait, hypothetically, even if we were, let's say every porno was produced by a Jew. Who's forcing you to watch it, Dan? Are you that much of a weak-ass simp? And if 16 million of us Jews can control the world, what does it say about your dumb fucking ass? It tells me you're fucking weak-ass pussy. Dan, wait. If I put Dan in the IDF, he'd last like 2 minutes. Dan is sitting there praising Sinwar as a hero. Somehow Dan thinks Hamas... Dan, if you put on a dress and told them you were a tranny, an American transsexual in Gaza, they'd probably cut off your dick and shove it up your fucking ass, and you'd get your neo-vajayjay, queer. Dan, you got a big fucking mouth. Come to Palm Springs and say this shit to me. If you're not a pussy, leave a comment section in there and tell me when you're gonna... Let's debate. I'll debate your fucking queer ass on anything. He talks about the Nakba. You know what the Nakba was, motherfucker? The Balfour document broke up Palestine, which was only named Palestine for like 100, 200 years. I mean, it's a colonizing name originally given to that land by the Romans and then reignited again by the British. Palestine. That name was the name. That's like me going into the You know, wait, it's just like calling Manhattan, which was bought by the Indians, Manhattan. It's a colonizing name. And I love all these colonizers, like, all these colonizers, all these Arab immigrants, dance from where? Armenia? Well, you're a colonizer in America then, you dumb shit. Move back to Armenia. And then he says the Israel doesn't recognize the Armenian genocide. First of all, I don't know if they do or not. I'm Jewish and I recognize it. And I recognize it for the fact that it was Muslims that killed off these Iranians, not Jews. But Dan's so stupid, he's more, even if Israel was not denying it, but even if they weren't talking about it, because his rationale would be because they want to maintain good terms with Turkey, where it was caused. But even though Turkey and Israel have bad terms, then even if Israel does, I don't think Israel denies the Armenian Holocaust. There's just no reason for us to fucking talk about it. It's just going to inflame our enemies even more, because we would have to blame the Muslims for it because they're the ones that caused it. It's funny how a dumbass motherfucker, you listen to Dan talk and you can tell he's just a stupid motherfucker with a low IQ. You listen to this prick talk and he's more concerned about his claim that Israel doesn't recognize the Armenian genocide because they don't talk about it every fucking day like he talks about Jews, this idiot. And he's more mad at us Jews for that than he is for the fucking sand charts of Muslims that actually caused the genocide. And Dan, right before Jelani took over Syria, was it? No, it was in Lebanon. Hezbollah in Lebanon last Christmas persecuted the Armenian Christians there and told them they couldn't worship Christmas. They're trying to get rid of them. And where do you think those Armenian Christians want to flee to? Armenia? No. Israel, motherfucker, where there's freedom of religion. Dan, there's 54 sand nigger countries, sand charts of countries in the world. And most of them don't like Jews or Christians. Everybody talks about the Gazan Christians. What if we aren't Israel bombing the Gazan Christians? Yeah, there's like 1,000 Christians in Gaza, okay? Give me a fucking break. It's not exactly a hotbed for Christians. So Dan, why don't, you know what, Dan? I would have more respect for your simp-ass, pussy-ass if you just admitted a few things. You just hate Jews. Because you never talk about what's going on anywhere else, only there. I mean, wait, there's been more slaughtering going on, way more killing of innocents have been happening in Sudan, Syria, than way more than Israel. But only because Jews are involved, see? When sand charts sand blacks kill other blacks, sand blacks, Dan doesn't say anything. And all you blacks in BLM that are aligned with this shit, you know what they call you folks? You Arabs? The Arabs call you, I think the term's kafir or something. They basically call you like a slave. They call you slaves. I mean, even in America, the KKK may call you guys niggers, but they don't call you slaves still. These Arabs still call you slaves. So Dan, just admit it, you hate Jews. You hate fucking Jews. And wait, the right, basically, the white hates Jews because they don't think we're white. And we're not, we're Semites. And then the left hates us because they think we're white and not Semites. So you got it from both ends. We're not white enough for the right-wingers, and we're not dark enough for the left-wingers. Dan, if I ever see you, and you open your fucking mouth to me, I'm not going to smack your ass, you bitch ass. But I'm going to put you in a position to hit me so I can either come back and whack the fuck out of you in self-defense or sue your ass. But you're broke. Now, how am I going to do this when you're face-to-face with me? I'm going to tell you that you just stuck your tongue up your... You sound like you're retarded because you stuck your mom up... You stuck your tongue up your mom's dirt chute, and then you stuck your penis up there, and you made her ass bleed. And then you had to shove a tampon up your mother's ass to keep it from bleeding. Because your steroided out, horny ass dick was... You were pumping her like a fucking Kuwaiti oil well pumps gas or oil. So Dan, you're not the big shot you think you are. You're a trust fund baby. Got your money through a trust fund, and your dad got that money through illegal means, and he owes $180 million to the SEC, and he's hiding the money through you. And then you're bragging about making all this money in poker when the whole poker shtick was just the perfect shtick for you to launder money. Wait, what's the easiest way to launder money? Gambling, actually. Think about it. That's the perfect way to launder money. I buy into the casino, they give me chips back, I cash the chips out, bim bam boo. Money's laundered now. Then I can claim, and then, it's like, then I can claim I lost, I won. Nobody knows what I did. But Dan's so fucking stupid. One time he said he on Joe Rogan that he made $50 million gambling, I think, in 1 year. Did he report that on the IRS, Dan? No, I doubt you suggested that. Dan, you're a pussy. I remember that Vegas shooting 5, 6, 10, whenever it was, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago. Motherfucker fucking ran to the site where the shooting was, near the Mandalay Bay, but he hid like a little fucking pussy. He had his guns there, but he didn't. He's a Navy SEAL dropout. He acts like he's a veteran. He's a veteran of sucking cock. All right, Dan Bilzerian is a veteran of paying hookers to be around him. Yeah. No, wait, he gives his advice on how to get pussy. Yeah. But what he fails to tell you is he pays for most of that box with daddy's money. Dan, I can see why you hate Jews, because you're so frustrated as a loser who's never accomplished shit in his life that you have to lash out at us Jews because you're jealous of us, you're angry with us, and everything you say about us and blame us for is what you're doing. You're doing a genocide. You know what your genocide is? Every time you pay a whore and bust a nut in her fucking vajayjay, all those sperm of yours are genocided. And how many abortions have you paid for? Homo? You just got a big fucking mouth, dude. I'm going to tell you, from my mouth to God's ears, don't think the Mossad's not watching. I have inside knowledge to know the Mossad is watching you, okay? So if you want to come after my ass, do it. I'm protected by the Mossad. I've got relatives in the Mossad, motherfucker. Why do you think I've got a big enough mouth to tell you you're a dumbass? Hate. I don't even use the term anti-Semite. You're just a Jew hater. You're self-love. Because you hate yourself because you're such a fucking loser. What have you accomplished in life, Dan? Not a damn thing except laundering your daddy's money. You were born with a silver spoon up your dirt chute. And I bet you're like Diddy. I bet pussy's not even enough for you. I bet you have probably ass-fucked dudes, sucked off dudes, swallowed their cum, busted nuts inside their dirt chutes inside their mouths, and they fucking swallowed, faggot.